Hi guys. I did my case presentation on the court case of Da Silva v. WakeMed, and my name is Manhattan Carnes. So for my case selection, this actually wasn't my first choice. Our professor, I emailed her and I had just like a lot of questions because there was this case that I found that I thought was a case and it was not within the like dates, and so she helped me find one that was, and that it had something to do similarly with the one that I ended up picking. So I wanted to do something with medical malpractice where the patient didn't get the correct treatment. Um, and I also wanted something that had a possible health injustice. And I picked this case because it occurred in 2012, it was appealed in 2017, and then it was filed in 2020. And so it definitely fit all of the criteria. Along with the relevance, it had to deal with an older woman. She ended up passing away, sadly, but the medication that was given, in my opinion, wasn't correct. And same thing again about when it was appealed and filed and everything else. So, for the summary of my case, it was a Supreme Court of North Carolina through the Court of Appeals. She was in the hospital between October 30th through 2012 to November 5th, 2012. Her name was Dolores Pierce, and she was a 76-year-old woman, and she was hospitalized at WakeMed. Um, so she was on a um corticosteroid, which she had been on for many years for an inflammatory disorder, prednisone. So she had been taking this for years prior. This wasn't anything new. And then, so when she went into the hospital, she presented with a fever, an altered mental state, and she had an extreme weakness. They thought that she had a UTI, and so they decided to give her Lavaquin, which is an antibiotic. And on this antibiotic, it has a black box warning that clearly states that it is an increased risk of a tendon rupture in patients over 60 years of age and in patients who are um, concomitantly taking a corticosteroid, which is exactly what she was taking, which was the prednisone. So not only did on the box was she over the age of what she was supposed to be if taking this, but she was also taking a corticosteroid, and so she was at a really high risk of a tendon rupture. So, as we continue, she was admitted under the care of three board certified doctors. They continued, all of them like both agreed like to just continue her on the Lavaquin and the prednisone, and they all testified in court saying that they all knew of the black box warning and they were completely aware of her age, which is kind of shocking. But so approximately a week after she had been discharged, her Achilles ruptured. Now, for this, for the Lavaquin, the Achilles tendon is the most common tendon that is ruptured in those who take this. So she had to have surgery to repair the tendon, but once she had the surgery, she just couldn't fully recover, and so she died on September 7th, 2013 from pneumonia and debility. So what happened next was there was the court case, and there was a doctor that testified. His name was Dr. Jennisons, and he stated all of these different reasons about how the three hospitalists or the doctors deviated from the standard of care. Now, the three hospitalists administered the Lavaquin even when contraindicated by the black box warnings and when other antibiotics were available. So there were multiple other antibiotics that Dr. Jennison said that they could have given her outside of the one that they did. They ordered incorrect medication in excessive dosages. When she ended up leaving, they like discharged her into a PT facility. They didn't get the correct dosage based upon her age and her weight and everything else. Next, they administered a corticosteroid while taking Lavaquin. It clearly states on the bottle not to do that. They discharged and transferred her while continuing orders to take Lavaquin. On the box of on the medication of Lavaquin, it clearly states that the longer you're on it, the higher risk you have of getting or tearing a tendon or having a tendon rupture. So she was on it for quite some time. Next, they failed to identify and assess if she was a proper candidate for the medication administered. Now, with that, they didn't look to see about her age, in my opinion. So, next, they failed to assess, obtain, and document accurate information from medical records and previous medical history. When I read that, that meant to me that they didn't try and get her previous medical history, and that they didn't try to see about how long she had been on the corticosteroid or whatever it was, the prednisone. So, and then next, they failed to ensure proper medication reconciliation, and lastly, they failed to communicate with one another. Now, during the case, they all agreed that they knew what was going on, and they knew about her age and everything, but they did not communicate with one another enough during the situation. The ending of the case, Dr. Jennison was identified as an expert testimony for the standard of care and compliance. So when this court started, they didn't know if Dr. Jennison could actually testify against this in court, but after many rules, they later identified him as an expert after going through a bunch of different questioning and tests to see. Now, Dr. Jennison continued with multiple statements of how many similar situations he had seen in patients just like her. He was a doctor himself, and he saw patients like her that were of that age and had these types of issues, and he knew not to give them that antibiotic. An important statement that I found in the case file was, in the light most favorable to the plaintiff, a jury could reasonably find that unsafe use of Lavaquin refers to the unsafe prescription of Lavaquin by any of the doctors treating Miss Pierce, including the hospitalists. Sadly, the final court decision sided with the defendant due to the lack of evidence, and the hospitalist lack of evidence that the hospitalist case caused the tendon to rupture. So, right or wrongfully decided. In my opinion, I think the case was wrongfully decided. Going back through everything and reading the case multiple times, I still don't understand fully about why they would have sided with this, because there was a black box warning of the age. There was a warning, if you take it too long, there's a higher risk of the tendon rupture, most common the Achilles, which is what tore. And there were 3 doctors that were taking care of her, and not one of them thought to change it, but all 3 of them knew, and they testified to that. There were other medications that they could have given her. They knew her age and the other medication she was on, and it clearly states not to give someone that medication if you're taking that. Lastly, Dr. Jennison gave clear and precise reasoning on how many ways that the standard of care was not met. Why it was decided. So, the only person that testified was Dr. Jennison, and they also thought the jury thought there wasn't enough evidence, and that they could not testify that the care was the issue. So, health injustice. I believe there is a possible health injustice when it comes to the patient's age, considering she was 76 years old, and age is one of the main possible health injustices. And another thing that I thought about was, I don't know the genders of the hospitalist. It did not say. All it said was Dr. blank, blank, and blank. So I do not know. But if they were all male, there's another one that a possibility because of her being a female and all of them being male. And here are my references, and I hope you guys like the case and learn something. Thanks, guys.